The ZSF Foundation is 1 year old. Crazy. It's been so short and so long at the same time. It's weird. COVID made everything weird. In any case, it's been a lot of fun, and well, this is coffee time, so I'm not gonna talk about the great achievements and whatever else. I'm just gonna talk about my experience. And yeah, it is been fun. Being VP of Community at the ZSF Foundation has been a lot of fun. It's been challenging a little bit, but I can say 1 year after the fact that it's one of the things that it's the type of work that I enjoy a lot. I've been saying a few times already, like on stream, that I don't see myself really as an engineer. I mean, I can do engineering work, of course, but I think that the attitude of an iconic engineer is based on I would expect an iconic engineer to enjoy methodical work more than I personally do. I like building things, but the idea of like repeating the same process multiple times, exercising very well what you know how to do very well, that's not me. Usually when I do something twice, it comes out 2 times. Each time is kind of different. But on the other hand, being VP of Community has brought to me a lot of questions that don't have definite answers, where there's no process that you have to repeat, and it's been exhilarating. I love the challenge. It's been really fun. So I want to mention the things that very generally, the things that I had to do as VP of Community. So I'm trying to answer the question, what did it mean for the last year to be VP of Community at the ZSF Foundation? And when I think about it, I think I mostly did 3 types of things. The first type is communication. It's what I was already doing when I was a developer advocate at Redis Labs, and it's about explaining to people what it is that you do. Zig has a lot of interesting things that we are doing, but unless we tell people, they won't know otherwise. And that's the kind of stuff that I've been doing with Showtime, writing blog posts, videos. Maybe not exactly this one, because it is still communication, but it's not purely about informing other people about what we are doing. It's a bit more creative, I think, but yeah, it's still in the same ballpark. The second type of thing that I did was organizing things. So it was organizational work, like setting up meetings. We have weekly meetings at the ZSF Foundation where we discuss business, and they've been great. They've been, in my opinion, very productive. But I think it's interesting because on one end, you don't want to have meetings all the time because it sucks. Too many meetings, they're useless. On the other hand, it's tempting as a bunch of technical people to just say, meeting sucks, fuck meetings, let's just do real work and never talk. And that's not great either. We need to walk the line. We need to know how much coordination we need to have. We need to have some coordination, especially because we are people in different parts of the world. And there's also, I think, a component where it's important to have these meetings so that we can know each other, because we don't have an office. We don't meet otherwise. And yeah, you can collaborate on GitHub issues, and that is already a lot. Like, you don't have to see somebody's face to be able to work with them. But at the same time, we're still monkeys. So we also need that component, and COVID has made everything harder. In any case, so organizational stuff, other organizational things that I did. Well, some of the work that I did had a small component like that to it. Like, there's also Showtime, for example. Showtime, while not exactly official VP of Community work, it's still one of the things that I believe brings some value to the Zig community, to the Zig ecosystem. And I learned how to a process to help speakers agree on a time and date for the episode, bring everybody on board. Like now it's mostly something that I figured out, and that also has been interesting. So this kind of stuff. Finally, I think the third component is strategy. I think there has been also a strategic component to what I do, and I'm not gonna get into details, at least not in this video, probably not in any video actually. But when you interact with other companies, there is a strategic component, and it's still a matter of doing communication and organizing things, but you do that in a slightly different way. So, for example, we have been contacted privately by a few companies, some big names also, to give private presentations to them, and in general stuff about donations and stuff. And it's been interesting. It's another type of thing where you need to, as I said, you need to explain to them what we are doing, how things are, what they can get from us, what we kind of want from them. And you also need an organizational component, because sometimes if you want something to be done, you need to nag them. And if you don't do it, things fall through the cracks, and it's annoying. Yeah, so I think that when it comes to other companies, I guess once you mix communication, organization, and strategy, you get politics. I think that there is the point where this role is actually becoming an actual VP role once you start getting into this realm. And I think that moving forward, these things will be, the same thing will be still true at a bigger scale, because communication will move to in-person events. I've already applied to a couple of conferences, in-person conferences for September, October, November, and it's going to be interesting. So that's communication. Organizational stuff, I'll make a dedicated video to that, but hopefully if we find a way of keeping the new COVID variants under control, at one point we'll have meetups, and meetups need to be organized. And for me, it's a matter of making sure that everybody that has the potential of starting a meetup in their area, that they do so. So I'll try to, gently nudge people in the right direction, give a little bit of support when it's necessary, this kind of stuff. And meetups, hopefully, will lead to a conference, and that's hopefully even more than one conference, but let's not dream too much. So one conference, the first Z conference. So there's going to be that too. And finally, on a strategic perspective, there's also going to be some more stuff like that down the line. For example, the early adopter program. That's a thing that requires communicating what we intend to do at the ZSF Foundation, so that we communicating also in a way that not just we explain, but also we entice, we tempt companies to take the leap and try out Zig if it makes sense for them. And then also organizing this type of stuff, organizing things, I don't know, trainings maybe. I don't know, we'll see what comes down the line. And that also in the end culminates a little bit also into politics. So it's gonna be interesting. So this has been, this is what it has been being VP of Community at the ZSF Foundation for the last year. And I think that the best conclusion for this video is to kind of ask the equivalent question to Andrew, like what was like being president of the ZSF Foundation for the last year. So you know what, Andrew, the video is yours.
Huh? What? Oh, hey. What's up? Thanks, Loris. I'll take the video from here then. Well, yeah, so 1 year, Zig Software Foundation. What was my experience like as president? Well, it's been a year of overcoming challenges, I would say. There's a lot of challenges that I've never faced before, that I had to overcome, or everything would have stopped. So first of all, over the last year, there's a challenge of priorities. So even if, just from a technical perspective, there's an unlimited number of things that you could sink your time into a a compiler project or something like that. But then if you start a business or a nonprofit, there's even more stuff to sink your time into. And so there's a challenge of priorities. Like, what do I do today? What do I spend my time on? And I love having the freedom to make those decisions. And I actually feel like sometimes procrastination is even a superpower, because sometimes it feels like you have to do this, you have to do that, you got to help someone, or this thing needs your attention, but sometimes you got to just forget the world and make some progress on the core the core thing that your mission is over the next 6 months or something like that. And you know what, I also just love having the ability to do something that's not optimal with my time, where I just feel motivated to do it, so I do it. That was something that I really struggled with having a boss, which is that they always want you to be doing the most optimal thing for the business all the time, when really that's not really how humans work. Maybe we do it in the wrong order, but because we do it in the wrong order, it feels better at the time, and we actually put more of our own energy into it, and then you actually come out ahead in that case. And I really think that that's the case. I think that when we respect our motivations, it might not seem like we're doing priorities optimally, but I think you get more net gain and you end up accomplishing more things in the same amount of time. So challenge of priorities. There's also been the challenge of running a nimble organization. We don't sell a product, we don't sell a service, we don't have ads. We provide a product for free and then ask people to please donate. So it requires being frugal, and it requires being very careful about what you spend money on. And so it's been, and if you take on something, other companies could say, oh, we'll just have, the lawyers do that, or we'll just have, I don't know, the accountants do that, or we'll have the managers do that or something. But that's not the case. If we want to take on some kind of organizational task, pretty much I have to do it. So it's a challenge being the president and also being the lead software developer. It's just a lot of stuff to do, and I have to make sure to be very selective about what kind of like business projects we take on. And I'll say more about that at the end too. There's the challenge of work-life balance. So I think right now I'm putting in something like, 10, 11, 12 hours a day. And, I love what I do. So, it's okay right now. But, what am I? I'm 32. I'm not going to be able to do this forever. So, this is kind of a early growth sort of bootstrapping phase, and at some point here I need to tone it down. I need to have a better work-life balance to make this sustainable. So part of that is getting a little bit more income, and part of that is figuring out how to delegate better. Part of that is just surrendering to fate, whatever happens, by putting in less time. But at some point I gotta solve this work-life balance challenge. So there's that. There's the challenge of rewarding volunteer labor. So we only have a certain amount of income, and so only a certain amount of people can get paid for contributing code. Even though there's dozens of really talented people doing really impactful work, we can only pay a handful of them. So that's a challenge, because it's not fair, and I would like to make it fair, but we just don't have the cash flow for that. So it's tricky to select people. There's also kind of like a racial and sexual component to it too, because if we had a bajillion dollars, we could do kind of like diversity initiatives and help pick people based on these factors to help balance out the economy and stuff like that. But the problem is that since we only have so much income, I'm doing a hack where I pick from the people who are already doing good work. So if we have people who have proven themselves by doing good pull requests, I see them repeatedly, over a whole year sending high quality patches, then if I pick that person to give them, a contract, I know it is good. I know I don't have to manage them. I know that they're going to do good work. I know I can trust them. I know that they have intrinsic motivation, all that stuff. That's great. But by selecting those people, it's selecting people who have the free time, and the people who have the free time are the people who've been privileged by society. So it's not fair. It tends to select men, tends to select, white people. And I don't have a solution to that. That's just, as far as I'm concerned right now, it's a limitation of how much income we have. So that's a challenge. The challenge of rewarding volunteer labor and trying to avoid the politics. If people know that you do certain things, then you can get the money. Then people are trying to, prove themselves or something. It can get a little messy. So trying to avoid that situation. I haven't really seen it, but I'm just aware that, we got to be careful about that. So there you go. So there's a challenge of choosing how to funnel the money, down the pipeline. What else has happened? There's been the challenge of marketing. So in the beginning, a lot of the marketing of Zig is along the lines of, hey, we exist and pay attention to us. And people, and the response, the pushback is, no, it's not worthy of paying attention to. Well, now we're past that point. So now the tune has changed, and now the pushback is more like, oh, but is it immoral to have, the language features that we have that are not, as safe as completely safe languages or something like this. So the tune has changed, and now our approach has to be a little different. It's not just, hey, we exist and we're important. It's, hey, our approach to robust software is sound, and I'm happy with that change. That's progress in my opinion, but it's still a challenge, right? It's a different thing that we have to do. And to be clear, I love all these challenges. I'm here for it. Let's go, baby. That's what I say. But anyway, I have a couple more. So there's the challenge of mental health. COVID was especially difficult with my New York apartment. Super small place where we couldn't go outside. It was dark, no window. I mean, it was a window to like the alley. It was tough. But now I'm in a house in Portland, and I get to look at a park out the window all day and just like see people playing in the grass and the water and stuff. And my health and happiness is much better here. So that challenge is just done. I just had a hard place to live, and now I have this office, which you can see, and it's nice. I feel that was a big improvement for me. So there you go. Those are some of the challenges that I feel like I had to overcome in the last year with Zig Software Foundation. But yeah, I feel good about it. And there will be new challenges. Some of those challenges are ongoing. But I also wanted to say thank you to Loris, because he routinely does things that just seem completely impossible to me. He knows what to do. He executes. He has that's it. He knows what to do and he executes. I mean, what more can you ask for? He also has been organizing just friendly get-togethers where we can feel like we're, friends or just a group of people who can have a rapport. I feel like all the places where I drop the ball, he just makes it. He knows exactly what to do. Loris is incredible. So he was the first person I approached to try and help kind of run the Zig Software Foundation, and I could not have picked a better person for that. So awesome. Thank you, Loris. I also wanted to say thank you to everyone who volunteers their time to contribute improvements to Zig. Wish I could pay all of you. Hopefully in the next year, we can pay more of you. And I also want to say one last thank you. Thank you to the individuals who found Zig in their company matching program and donate money with company matching. It's really important to me to keep the Zig Software Foundation independent. You know, no Apple, no Google, no Netflix, no Amazon seats on the board, right? It's independent, and let's keep it that way. And the way we do that is by all those individuals and also companies who donate to the Software Foundation. So thank you for that. Well, what do you think, Loris? How did I do? Was that's my first year as president of ZSF. Here's to another one, everybody.